The Northman Alexander Skarsgård goes from hero to zero in Infinity Pool. Paul Mescal lands a Best Lead Actor nomination at the Academy Awards for Charlotte Wells' Aftersun. And Brian Tyree Henry snags a Best Supporting Actor nomination for his role in Causeway. That's today on the King's Corner. What's up, guys, and welcome to a brand new episode of the King's Corner. Let's get started talking about the week's newest release. It's Infinity Pool, starring Alexander Skarsgård and Mia Goth. What is this movie about? Well, look, I'm not going to give any spoilers. I mean, I don't even know if I can explain the film properly, but I'm going to try. Look, this is a movie about a couple, Alexander Skarsgård and his wife. Go to this vacation home. They go to a vacation. It's a very nice setting, and he's trying to get ideas to write a new book. He's an author. He hasn't written a new book in years. He meets another couple played by Mia Goth and her husband. They start to bond as friends. The couples come together as friends. They go out at the disco together. One thing leads to another. Alexander Skarsgård commits a terrible crime that he didn't mean to commit. And in this country they're at, he could be executed, and he will be executed for the crime he committed. But this law to get around it is to create a doppelganger, duplicate, double of yourself, and that body will experience the punishment. And we will kill the doppelganger body as you can survive. If you have enough money, this is what you can do. And the people that go to this resort probably have enough money. So that's where we're at. But that's what I will tell you. Because this movie is bullshit. I'm just going to say it flat out. I haven't seen bullshit like this probably since The Neon Demon. And I think that might have came out in 2015-ish. Regardless, that was a terrible film. Balls to the wall nonsense. And this is The Men of 2023. Alex Garland's film that came out last year was one of my least favorite films of that year. That movie gets really ridiculous and goes off the rails 20 minutes with 20 minutes remaining. The last 20 minutes of that film is balls to the wall bullshit. This movie, I would say the last hour is balls to the wall bullshit, when the whole film is bullshit, quite frankly. But it derails about the last hour of the movie. And the first, 45 minutes, however long this film is, it's teetering. I mean, it's not a steady ride. You feel like this is going to tip. Finally, it does. And not in a good way. This is a movie that has ideas, concepts that are thrown in, visuals that are thrown in, that don't pay off. Nothing in this movie works. I think the performances are average. There's nothing special about any of these performances. Mia Goth gave two incredible performances last year in X and Pearl. She comes in with this. I mean, she's okay, but she's not doing anything special. Nobody's doing anything special other than cashing a paycheck. That's what everybody's doing in this movie. Everybody in this film is cashing a paycheck. That's what this feels like. It feels like, okay, well, we gotta do something to pay the bills. So this weird script came in. Yeah, give it to me. I'll take the couple bucks. Because this movie has nothing to offer. It has nothing to offer. It's bullshit. That's the word to describe this movie. And it's a goose egg. This is a 0 out of 5 stars. I haven't given out that rating in a very long time. And it's very rare for me to do that. Usually I always find a redeeming quality about a movie. But everything in this just seemed just average or below average. It's a bullshit film. It's like I love saying that word, but that's what this movie is. It's like infinity pool bullshit. So next, it's Aftersun, directed by Charlotte Wells. This stars Paul Mescal and Frankie Corio as a father and daughter who are on a vacation. This is the last vacation they spend together as young Sophie, an 11-year-old. I believe she's 11 in the film. Let's see. Let me make sure here. 12 years old? 11 years old? 11 years old. Sophie reflects on her time with her father, her last vacation with her father. She reflects on, as it says in the bio of the film, in the summary of the film, of the man that she knew and the man that she didn't. So this is a exploration into the character of Paul Mescal as the father in the movie, and her reminiscing about videos that she recorded with the two of them together. We see her as an older woman, middle-aged woman, with a wife and kids and all this, and remembering the past she had. This is a film about memory. This is a true and total walk down memory lane type of film, and it almost puts you in a trance when you're watching this movie. It feels like you are watching these scenes of just truth, and these scenes of raw emotion and chemistry. I mean, these two actors, Paul Mescal and Frankie Corio, are fantastic in the movie, and they feel like a father and daughter. This chemistry between the two of them, it doesn't feel like you're watching a movie. This almost feels like you're watching a documentary. That's how well acted the film is, and how well written I think it is. I think that it feels very real and very raw and very emotional and powerful at the same time. Now, do I think the movie, even though it's only an hour and a half, do I think it's a little slow? Do I think it's a little, I wouldn't say dull. I don't think dull is the word to use, but I do think slow. And I don't know if I want to say boring, but certainly slow. This is a very much of a slow burn film, but that doesn't mean it's not rewatchable. I think the movie does have a rewatchability, certainly after you finish watching it. A, for the performances alone, Paul Mescal's Oscar-nominated performance in this film. Uh, you know how he is with his daughter when he's not with his daughter. What's going on with his life behind the scenes? It's really interesting stuff, and it's a really interesting character study that I really appreciated. I really appreciated it. And by the time it ends, you kind of go, "Well, that was actually kind of heartfelt and devastating at the same time." Um, how relationships could fall apart, how they could come together, and how could they be remembered? This is a movie that I don't think has extreme rewatchability because it is really slow, but it is one to think about. This is a movie that sticks with you after it ends, thinking, the depth of the themes to it, and talking about it. I like it a little more and more as I'm thinking about it. I don't quite love it, but I do think this is a good film with really deep themes, great performances. Charlotte Wells did a fantastic job, and Paul Mescal, he's great in the film as the lead actor. And if I'm going off the Oscar nominations here, he was that fifth slot. I think the other four were solid to get in. He was that fifth slot. Who else was going to get in? Was it going to be Jeremy Pope for The Inspection? Was it going to be Tom Cruise for Top Gun Maverick? I would have thrown Cruise in personally. Uh, Tom Cruise is Top Gun. He is Maverick. He should have been nominated for Best Actor in the movie because he brought it all. He had more to do. Paul Mescal has less to do, but he's giving more of a, I don't know. It's a really subdued performance, but there's something in there, and you can feel it. Like I said, it feels totally real. So look, in the end of the day, Aftersun is 3.5 out of 5 stars for me, and I would recommend it. prepare for a slow burn type of movie, but prepare to leave the movie with something to think about. It is certainly something to remember, and I do think it's memorable, even though it is a slow film. So the final film we're going to be talking about today is Causeway, with another acting nomination for supporting actor for Brian Tyree Henry. We didn't know if he was going to get in here. There was a talk of Paul Dano getting in for The Fabelmans, maybe Eddie Redmayne for The Good Nurse, which is one of the only good things about that movie. Uh, but Brian Tyree Henry was the one to get in. And after watching the film, I think I probably would have thought he was getting in anyway. I mean, he steals the show in this. The story of Causeway, Jennifer Lawrence plays a wounded veteran who has to come home because she suffered injuries, severe injuries that discharged her from the military to take this medical leave. She wants to be redeployed, but first she needs to be passed by the doctor. During that time, she reflects on her past life with her mother, her as a person. She meets Brian Tyree Henry's character, who also has a past, and I think they learn from each other. They certainly learn from each other. There's an excellent scene they have together towards the end of the film. It takes place at night at a pool. Uh, it is a powerful scene, and it's one of the most best acted scenes that I've seen all year. Brian Tyree Henry truly delivers an incredible performance just in that scene alone. But he's great in the rest of the movie too. Their chemistry is great. I think Jennifer Lawrence is really good. She wasn't really in the talks this year for Best Actress. She wasn't getting in anywhere. Because I do think, like I said, Brian Tyree Henry does steal the show. She was really good, though. Also, I think this is one of her better performances. She was great in this, but I think Silver Linings Playbook is still her finest performance and her Oscar-winning performance. But she's great in this. But this really is a film just solely about the two of them, Jennifer Lawrence and Brian Tyree Henry, and the relationship they have. Does it work? And I think it does. It's sweet. It's not a romantic relationship. It's a strict friendly relationship, which I really appreciated. It's refreshing to have a film where a man and a woman don't meet and are instantly attracted to each other and want to fall in love or whatever. I mean, it's just not that kind of story, and it was just kind of refreshing to have this strong bond and friendship between a man and a woman, uh, and I think they pull it off very well. The movie doesn't really have much more to offer than that. I think it's themes of can you get back on your feet after being in this traumatic event? If a traumatic event happens in your life, big or small, can you come back from it? How can you come back from it? This movie explores that, and I think it does it pretty successfully. Even though that's really the only thing the movie has to offer, I think it has a likability to it with the characters. It's moderately entertaining. I wouldn't say the movie moves at a lightning pace, but it is mainly entertaining, and I think that the pacing is, for the most part, pretty good, even though it does feel like certain scenes are just in there and then they go away and they're kind of forgettable and they don't really add towards the movie. But everything really with the Brian Tyree Henry and Jennifer Lawrence characters is what saves the movie, and it's what drives it along. So it's not a great film, but it's certainly a good film, and I'm going to give it the same rating that I gave Aftersun. It's a 3.5 out of 5-star film. I think Aftersun is the better movie, but this not bad either. So I also would recommend Causeway. So that's my thoughts on that. And finally, the physical media roundup for the week. It's one single 4K Blu-ray is a re-release, first time ever on 4K from Scream Factory. It's freaky. This little movie, Vince Vaughn, Catherine Newton, it came out right towards the end of the pandemic, to where theaters just started to get new movies. This came out around the Tenet time. I think this came out the October. I think Tenet might have came out in July or August. I don't remember, but that year I think this came out right around Halloween, 2020 possibly, something like that. 2020, yeah. And it was a fun film. Can't wait to check it out on 4K, see the quality. It's Freaky Friday, so cut out the Friday. It's just freaky. So that's where we're at with that. Guys, thank you so much for watching yet another episode of The King's Corner. Thank you so much. You can follow me on Twitter at RyanKing72. I've been tweeting a lot about award stuff. It's Oscar season. This is my favorite time of the year. Come on over, follow me on there. You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at King Arises 131, where I share more of my collections of Funkos and 4Ks and Blu-rays and other things as well. So come on, follow me on there. And if you're interested in what we're going to be talking about next week's episode of The King's Corner, 2 new releases: Knock at the Cabin and 80 for Brady, and some other Oscar-y type films that received nominations for lead actor and actress. It's Bill Nye in Living and Andrea Riseborough in To Leslie. We're going to be talking about those 4 films next week. You guys, that's been it for me. Thank you so much for watching this episode of The King's Corner. And until next time, over and out.